Hey, what's up you guys? I have something to tell you, and you know what? I said at the very beginning of my channel, this video is no longer public by the way, I took down over 400 videos the other day. I said I was never going to sit and talk about the entirety of my life. Who would want to watch that, right? Who would want to know what went on in my childhood? Who'd want to know about my diagnosis change? Who'd want to know about all of this information? Guys, that was 6 years ago. Like, that's a long time ago. Like, this is on my old channels where I was like, no one wants to know that, no one cares. And still, I don't think people care, but I think people want to know the full story. I am going to attempt to tell you the entirety of my mental health story.
Don't let me drown.
Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, hello, I'm Lydia and I'm mental health videos here on YouTube. As I said earlier, I've been very reluctant to make this video, very simply because I get hated on a lot. It's only recently that I've even considered making this video. I've told my story over a series of videos. My diagnosis has changed over the years, and that's okay. That's how it is for a lot of people. I was wrongfully diagnosed with bipolar disorder, and there's videos of me saying, oh yeah, I'm bipolar, and then, as you guys know now, I'm not diagnosed with bipolar. My diagnosis has changed a lot through time, and if there's anything you take from the video, I want that to be it. There's so much to my story. People just like, oh my god, that can't be true. And yeah, sometimes it is a lot. Aside from the rambling, let's get on with the video. This is my mental health story from start to now, so 1997 till now, which is 2019. I keep forgetting the year. This video right here, right now, is causing me so much anxiety that I literally have to go upstairs and get my medication. So yeah. To those of you who are new to me and new to what I do, hi, I'm Lydia, I make mental health videos, I'm 21, I study film production at university, and this is my second go at a degree. Let's go back to my childhood. So my childhood is not something I talk about all the time. A lot of people do know that I was abused as a child, and I don't talk about this just because me and my mom are trying to work on our relationship. So as a kid, I was hit, I was kicked, I was locked in my room, I had my head pushed into a corner, and if you see there, there's like a scar on my hairline. And then when someone tried to strangle me, my mom tried to strangle me, it cut into my neck. I struggled with physical, verbal abuse, and I've got scars from things like when my mom pushed me into a wall, a brick wall. I caught my finger there, and I've had a scar there since I was in primary school. This went on until I was around 14, and at that point I grabbed hold of my mum's wrist and I said, don't you fucking dare. And she has never laid a finger on me since. She's never laid a finger on my younger sisters because she's been married for their lifespan. I wasn't that fortunate. When I was with my mom, she was single, she was young, and I'm excusing her behaviour, but it happened and we have to move on in life. And funnily enough, my diagnosis of PTSD doesn't actually stem from my childhood. While this went on, I self-harmed. I self-harmed so that when I got hit, I could deal with the pain. And I remember one quote from my mom very vividly. Do I need to hit you harder? Why won't you cry? So I self-harmed from around the age of 7. I used to, with pencils that have the eraser on the end, I used to pencil sharpen the metal bit off, and I used that to scratch up the back of my hand there. Under my tip there, you can see that. So I used to self-harm in places that no one would look. I could make up excuses for the back of my hand. I could be like, oh, I scraped it against the wall. Things got really bad at school. And when I started secondary school, I was bullied. By one girl in particular. And you know what, I wouldn't normally name names, but I don't give a fuck anymore about people from my hometown. So a girl called Rosanna Lee, she was verbally abusive, she was physically abusive. She pushed me into a wall and pulled my hair. This wasn't playground bullying. She she grabbed my hair and pushed me into walls when I got off the bus. I got to a point where I started getting off a few stops later, but she'd still get off and follow me. And then I woke up one morning, and through the front door and on the front door, she carved it into the glass on the front door, Lydia, die. And that was the first time someone had ever really threatened my life. And I didn't know this at the time, but bullying in school got too much. It was allowed to continue, and I don't know why the school didn't step in, but the school was like, oh yeah, go to the police. And we went to the police. Me and my mom went to the police about it. because there were people sending me death threats. The school didn't know what to do, so he went to the police, and the police said, there's nothing we can do because it's on Facebook. Now bear in mind, this is back when Facebook had like in the early days of Facebook, it wasn't like now where it's like, oh, it's so easy to trace people. Back then, people didn't really know that much. And there was a group of people, in like year 11 I think it was, or year 10, I can't remember what year it was, but there was a group of people that was my friend for a few days, because there was a hate page on Facebook, and it's still active to this day, funnily enough. And I used to do cheerleading on the side. I was very active. I did cheerleading outside of school, I did gymnastics outside of school. I've always done a lot of physical activity because I could when I was younger. Like, I couldn't do it now because unfortunately my body's at a point where it's just at a very shit point, to be honest. Sidetrack here, but when I was 16, I actually got diagnosed with arthritis, and yeah, I'm 21 now, so I've got very used to it and used to the pain. I went into the canteen in the new building of my school 3-4 times, and they was always with that group of people who I thought was going to be my friends. I thought they was going to be there for me until the end of school, and they were. As soon as they stopped talking to me, the bullying got worse. And it got worse, and it got worse. And to this day, like, I'm never going to speak nicely about that school. Like, the police were fucking useless. The school were fucking useless. The thing is, I dealt with bullying quite well. Like, I put on a very good face. I cried, like, twice at school. I got very good at dealing with it. I don't know, like, when people, like, harass me online, and they try and, like, name call, and I'm just like, yep, never heard that before. The bullying thing is something that has affected me to this day. I don't like admitting that, and that is something that I try and cover up, because I don't want to give them the power of knowing that they affected me to this day. I did make a video talking about my bullying story, but I took it down because I missed out a few bits. What in my other video, I talked about the stabbing incident that happened in school. And before anyone says, oh no, that didn't happen, there'd be a scar. There is a scar, and I did show it in that video. But for the sake of this video, you guys saw the scar under there earlier from, my self-harm. If we get to the other side, you will see that. So, no, it's not made up, and yes, it did happen. It's a horrible position to be put in. I remember that day so vividly because that happened. The school thought I did it to myself, and they phoned an ambulance saying that I was self-harming at school. I wasn't. They knew I wasn't. I remember my mom coming to the hospital. I remember when she came to the hospital, and she was like, what the hell happened? And I explained, and the school denied it, and when, like, people go online and say, like, oh yeah, that didn't happen, that definitely didn't happen, like, I wish it didn't. Like, I hate even, like, thinking, like, what would have happened if they'd have got it like that. Like, it killed me. Like, what would my mum have done? And the fact that people go online and say, oh, that didn't happen, that never happened, like, she never went through that. It's fucking bullshit. And there's one person who ain't that, and that's Beth Easton, the girl who's decided to attack me and join the hate campaign against me. She was part of the little group that I hung around with when I had no one. She wasn't there all the time. She didn't even take half the subjects I fucking took. And I used to sit, like, in the outside area, outside the classrooms, because of the bullying, because I just couldn't face up to living around it. And it was so bad. Like, I didn't eat at school because I was afraid people were going to bully me for it. I was diagnosed as being anorexic while I was in school, and I can't look back at school photos. I made my family take them down because I just can't. Like, that was such a horrible time. Like, if you go on Facebook now, like, it's still on there. You're like, oh yeah, well, she did it to herself. Why the fuck would I do that? Like, why? Just tell me why. Like, it's not like I wanted friends. It's not like I had friends. It's not like I wanted attention. It's not like I wanted sympathy. I wanted to get through fucking school and just leave there. I hated school. I wouldn't go back if someone paid me. There was one point where I nearly moved to school. It was when the school put out the idea that, like, maybe it's just my own fault. I was so sick of getting bullied that I did snap back at people, and yes, that's probably why I didn't really have many friends at school. Like, yes, I had a few, and you know, a lot's happened in school. School just seems so irrelevant now that I'm just like, why am I even crying about it? Like, what? Like, I just don't. Like, this is why I'm so strong-minded when it comes to people harassing me online, when people bully me online. This is why I'm so strong-minded about it, because I've seen how bad it can get. So yeah, like, when I say that I had a really rough time in school, I'm not, like, being dramatic or anything. School was hell, and I wouldn't do it if someone paid me. After I left school, I went to college, and I broke up with my now friend, Adam. We was a thing for... It was on and off for a while. I then got with someone else who, you guys know, I told the story a lot. He was physically abusive. Not Adam, the other guy I was in a relationship. And it was hard. It took a lot to break me in that relationship. Like, it really, really took a lot out of me. And, like, my friends would know this. My friends would say this. And I'll try and get some of them to come on eventually. I decided that I'm going to try and call some people who I went to college with. Aaron. We'll try Aaron. Hello.
Hi.
I'm filming a video right now, by the way.
Okay, what's up?
Right, this is going to be a really intense fucking question. Oh my god.
Okay.
Now we met. Was I still with Adam then or not?
Yes, you were.
Okay, so do you remember when me and Adam broke up and I got with that guy who killed himself?
Yeah.
Just need to verify that it happened.
Yeah. I mean, I never met him, but I did hear you talk about him, so I never personally met him.
Yeah. When I was in that relationship, I was moody, I was gobby, I was horrible because I couldn't deal with everything else as well as being like attacked pretty much every day. I have pictures still on my old phone from when he beat me to the point where I had a black, like my eye was all bruised, all there was cut, like down there was cut. Like, it was so hard and I just stopped fighting back. When it first started, it just got out of control and I just stopped caring. But the thing is, I knew he had going on. Like, I knew he was self-harming, I knew he was struggling with food, I knew he had depression, like I knew he was struggling, and I didn't want to break up because I didn't want him to hurt himself, because he always said, if you leave me, I'll kill myself. And I've had that said to me a lot. If people say that to me now, they're immediately blocked on something because I cannot deal with it anymore. On the bus, we got into an argument, and I do remember the bus driver like basically kicking us off at the train station, which is why we got the train. Because basically I used to get a bus to college, but this one time we was full on like arguing, like we was about to like fucking murder each other on this bus, and we got kicked off. So we got off the bus and I said, I'm fucking done with you, leave me alone. And then we talked for a bit, and then we went and got waited for the train. We was kind of on talking terms, and I thought we ended it pretty well, but it seems we didn't. The last words he ever said to me, this is because of you, and he stepped in front of a train as it was coming into the platform. That is why I had PTSD from, is where my issues with flashbacks came from. Not from my mum abusing me, from witnessing someone kill themselves. That's why I'm so protective of my friends. I can't even explain how protective I am, which is why losing people to me is such a big deal. During that relationship, I kind of got a bit ahead of myself when I was like, oh yeah, he killed himself. Like, I brushed over a lot. When the abuse was going on, that was when I first started like hearing voices majorly. This is where I started visually hallucinating. This is when things got very out of control for me. I was under eating disorder services, I was under CAM, I was under a CBT therapist, then I ended up in hospital. After watching the suicide, like a few weeks later, I made a major attempt in my life. I tried to walk off from the police and they floored me. I've been put on the floor in handcuffs a few times in my life, and they've only been because this was when I first started experiencing like full-on psychosis. There were so many broken pieces that no one really knew what to say to me, and like I said, I made a major attempt in my life. And then when I was sat in A&E with police, I had a sticker like on the back of my phone, and I had a blade from a pencil sharpener in it, and I cut open, like you can still see it, like I cut open down there, and and I remember the police kicking in the bathroom door and being like it was bad. Like, from there I ended up getting admitted to a psychiatric intensive care unit for children, which I might try and make you guys a bit higher up because you're quite low down. When I was in a PICU unit, I was started on careful! When I was in hospital, I was fucking off of it. I was out of it. I was like, I was psychotic. Like, I can remember this. I can remember what my mom told me afterwards when I came out. Basically, I thought that my family was trying to poison me. And I was following a glowing light. That's what I was made to believe by the voices and hallucinations. This is what with shadow and light, I have so many issues now with it because I don't want to end up in the state I was then. I think the whole psychosis thing really got accelerated a lot because of the suicide. Like, I was depressed, I was psychotic, and I was anorexic. 3 things that don't mix very well. Before my first suicide attempt, though, I was already on antidepressants, if I can add that in. This video is so disjointed, like, I haven't got a plan for this, so it's just like, I'm talking. I was started on fluoxetine and I reacted horribly to it. I lasted a week on before CAMS told me to stop taking it. And if CAMS are telling me to stop taking it, you know, stop taking it. To anyone who doesn't know what CAMS is Children and Adolescent Mental Health Services. In Telford, which is where I'm from, you go there to the age of 18. At the age of 18, you are then a legal adult. So I was diagnosed with bipolar then, and I went into hospital. And this is where people get confused with my story, because I'm no longer diagnosed with bipolar. At the time I was diagnosed with bipolar, I was started on lithium, zopiclone, and what was the other one? Olanzapine. And when I was in there, I reacted very badly to lithium. I do drink water, but very minimally. I can't stomach it. I don't like the taste of it, even though water doesn't have a taste. I can't drink it, okay? Like, it's never gonna happen. So I was very dehydrated and my body just overall didn't respond well, and that was stopped. 2016 came around. Boy, oh boy. So I turned 18 in the December. I wasn't transferred to adult mental health services. I had no support. My anxiety got very bad. I was tried on various antidepressants. I didn't respond well to any. I was kept on metazapine for quite a long time. That ended up getting stopped. Zopiclone I've been on periodically, and now I just have as fucking permanent prescription. I don't take it unless I have to, but I don't know, my anxiety's bad, my sleep's bad, so I've had a lot of medication trial and errors, and then we go to 2016. This was the year I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder. Right, so I was diagnosed with borderline personality disorder with psychotic features. There's actually still a video up when this diagnosis came in, and I filmed the day that I got diagnosed. I was like, what the fuck does it mean? So I googled it, and I was like, look, that's not me, because all I saw was all the stigma and stereotypes, which is when I started YouTube properly. Because I was like, hey, that's not what this disorder is, I want to talk about it, I want to share my journey. And that's kind of what kickstarted my little YouTube journey. I just realised I skipped over a massive trauma thing in this. It's not massive, but because of the suicide, early 2015, in like October 2015, my granddad passed away. And I was in the hospital with him when he died. And when the machine went, like when it goes beep, 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 it does that, like the flat iron. I got up and I walked into the bathroom and I just turned around and I punched. I remember punching that fucking mirror. I just punched it so fucking hard that I actually dislocated my little finger. So that's the thing I did. That was traumatic to me because I didn't want to be in the room. That sounds really bad. That sounds really bad. Oh, I should point out, when I say granddad, I mean great-granddad. You know, my grandparents are still alive, but, like, my great-grandparents aren't. That didn't help either. 2015 was a fucking horrible year. My diagnosis changed from anorexia to EDNOS in 2016. That change, I knew it was coming because I'd put on weight. I was no longer 40% below my healthy BMI. I had a meal a day. You know, I went from not eating anything unless I was like on the floor. I remember with my eating disorder, like when I was in school, like, funnily enough, this is the one thing I can remember from school that just makes me fucking cry and laugh. Cry because I fucking hate school. Laugh because, so I hadn't eaten and I was in a science class that was about nutrition and why the body needs it, and someone tapped her friend on the shoulder. I say friend, I use the term loosely. I'm gonna collapse. Like, oh, I put my head in there. And the next thing I knew, I was on the floor. The year my diagnosis changed. So it changed from being bipolar to borderline, and I agree that change. I don't meet the criteria for bipolar. I understand why I was diagnosed with it initially. It made sense at the time, but as I've grown up, I meet the criteria of BPD, not bipolar. We had the move to Lancashire, and this is where I hate my own existence. So when I moved to Lancashire, I was so happy. I was like, I was on antidepressants still, I was still on sleeping tablets, but I moved to Preston and I went to University of Central Lancashire and I fucking hate that uni. Oh yeah, I forgot the time that I nearly got kicked out of college because of my mental health, but I've got a whole video on that on my channel still. For now. I might remake that at some point. Let me know in the comments if you want me to remake that. Oh, the move to Preston. Fucking Preston. I adored Preston. So I moved to Preston and originally it started off great. I had a friend who turned out to be a bitch. If you follow my channel, you know who this bitch is. The first few months were okay. I met up with one of my favourite YouTubers who's called Laura Lejeune. She doesn't upload anymore, but she gave me a phone, but it was the best experience ever. That video is still on my channel. You'll see my little fangirl moment where I'm like, oh my, I can't believe I'm meeting you. And my mood's just gone, like, I'm like, oh, wait, what is this video? I've cried, I've laughed, and now I'm just fucking weird. So in Lancashire, I was okay until December 16th. And do you want to know how I remember that? I got detained under Section 136 of the Mental Health Act for the first time. I was detained under 136 of the Mental Health Act. I had no idea what it was. It's a 72-hour hold. And now, here's the best thing. The day after, I was supposed to be going to my mum. Because my mum has never been supportive of, like, my mental health, really. Like, she understood the depression, which is fine. She understood the anxiety. When it came to the eating disorder, then I got diagnosed with BPD. I was allowed back in, then kicked back out. So my anxiety got bad, and I got on a bridge because I felt really alone. Like, I had stopped talking to my mum, and I was terrified about going home the next day, so my brain immediately went to suicide. And I wasn't hospitalised at the time. They decided to let me go home with the provision that I took my medication. One thing that I got really bad for in like 2017 was stopping my own medication. I'd get to a point where I was like, this isn't doing fuck all, I'm not taking it. And that led to a hospital admission. I got detained under the Mental Health Act several times in 2017. Then we go to 2018, so last year. Last year was one of the worst years of my life, and there are many reasons. I was sectioned 4 times in a row, like consecutively. I was arrested because the police didn't believe I was suicidal when I phoned 111, which is the NHS non-emergency number for advice. They was like, oh, Lydia, we're arresting you for wasting police time, you know? And I didn't argue with it. I'm not going to argue with fucking 3 police officers there with tasers, am I? I was kept in custody for 48 hours. I originally was like, well, did you make the phone call? Yes. Are you going guilty? I guess so then. The solicitor I had at the time was useless. They would refuse bail because they thought I was a risk to myself. I was kept in a self-harm suit and a self-harm cell. But before that, they performed a strip search. It was in that room that I got assaulted by officers. I will never stand down from that. People are like, oh, it never happened. You're just talking bad about them. I'm just like, they assaulted me. Never in my life had I felt so violated. I was literally pushed into the cell as well. Like, I was walking, I wasn't being a twat. Like, I just went with it. I just said, sign the signature. It's like, oh, well, you need an appropriate adult because you've got mental health issues and we think you're a risk to yourself. Like, is that not why I make the phone call? And I can remember the charge sheet. Like, I then, in second day of custody, I tried to kill myself twice in that cell. And I just tried to hang myself in a self-harm cell, in a self-harm suit. They then called for a mental health assessment. The issue in Lancashire is always discharged me. After a few days, they discharged me. And it got so bad that it took for me to get arrested before they was like, oh fuck, there's a problem. And it was after that admission that I posted a video that many of you have seen. I don't like to call this basically a goodbye suicide video. That's not what I wanted it to be. It was literally me calling out Lancashire police an hour later. Like, I scheduled it for an hour after upload. In that time, I made a ligature and I hung myself. The police kicked down my door and removed the ligature from my neck, and I'm rushing over a lot of like the suicide things because there was a lot of overdoses. I overdosed on sleeping tablets and hallucinated. I got diagnosed with depersonalization and derealization. I took an overdose of medication I bought off the internet. I took an overdose of medication that I was told to dispose of, that I was allergic to, that I just ended up taking all of. And from that incident, all I can remember is being in a police car and then being in A&E. I have no recollection. I know I got resuscitated. I flatlined, you know, like, I flatlined, and what did I learn from that experience? Overdoses are useless. I spent the entire day arguing with the mental health team about an admission. I lost. I got dragged out by the police in handcuffs good old handcuffs. They don't fit my wrists, so I have oddly small wrists. I made that court case against me go to trial, and I won. I said they was maliciously prosecuting me because of the amount of times I've been called out. And the solicitor that I had then, and that I still talk to now, and God bless him, he's a fucking legend. So I beat the court case. I had it thrown out. I had an officer arrested, and I felt good. The magistrate dismissed the case because there was no case to answer. That is the only time I've ever been arrested. So then I was doing okay. My medication was what it, like, I've been on the same antidepressant for over a year. I take venlafaxine to anyone who is interested in what antidepressant I take. I was prescribed diazepam, and that was my first ever experience of benzos. So now we fast forward to this year, and as you guys know, I have been kept my mental health no secret this year. My mental health has been a mess because my only friend from school had killed herself after calling me and me not answering the phone because I had too many, and my anxiety was too bad. She killed herself and she was successful. I won't forgive myself for not being there. I won't. Like, I always say to people, like, I'm always here, and the one time someone needed me, I didn't answer the phone. And like, everyone's tried convincing me that it's like not my fault, but you know, it feels like it is. Like, it really does. And that led to me making an attempt on my own life because my flashbacks got so bad this year. They've been at their all-time worst. So what is my current diagnosis? My current diagnosis are borderline personality disorder, complex PTSD, depersonalization, derealization, EDNOS, depression, anxiety, and social anxiety. They are my diagnosis. Only a diagnosis. I am not diagnosed bipolar anymore. So yeah, that is my story. Currently, I take a lot of benzos, and people keep asking why are you on so many meds. It was the only way I could get out of hospital as soon as I did, because it was that, or they'd keep me in longer to monitor me. Then the issue came that obviously, you know, fake landlord issues, and anyone who's wondering why I haven't talked about my alcohol use in this video, I'm not comfortable talking about it. I don't have to. I used to drink a lot in Preston, and then I stopped. I did therapy, and I stopped, and now I have the occasional drink. That's all there is to that. So the current medication list I have is clonazepam, zopiclone, lorazepam. They are on a PRN basis, so they're take when needed. Given I do have to take the lorazepam and the clonazepam daily, zopiclone I take with thiopine at 2 different times in the day. So I have 125 at night and 25 in the morning. Just because the higher doses, they lower my blood sugar too much and blood pressure, and if I'm on a higher dose, I can't function. And people are like, oh well, she's not on like a psychosis dose. Manages what I go for. I don't have severe psychosis. Like, I have mini episodes of it now and then, and the medication stables me out. Ish. My body is starting to build up a tolerance to benzos, and you know, I've been on the same one since when I had like that month-long admission that was in Milton Keynes and London. So I got transferred, that admission. I've been on the same meds pretty much since then. It's been changed a little bit, like it's been tweaked here and there. My clonazepam dose is constantly up and down. It gets changed a lot. Lorazepam has been the same pretty much constantly. You know, I vlog my life. That's why I named the channel Life with Lydia. It used to be called Lydia's a Dinosaur. That's what my channel was initially called. That's what the URL is for my channel. youtube.com/Lydia's a Dinosaur. Like, changed it to Life with Lydia because I was vlogging in my life. And my name's Lydia, so creative name. So that is kind of it for my mental health story. If you do have any questions about anything I've talked about, or if you are going through anything similar, feel free to comment down below. Also, don't forget I'm doing a giveaway of a mental health crisis book, kind of like the one I sold earlier in this video. I do have an Etsy store where I sell things, but I'm also doing a giveaway, and the more times you interact with my channel with a public username, and like you hit the like button, subscribe. I can tell who's subscribed, by the way. You have to be subscribed because, you know, this is for my fam, you know? And all you have to do is like, leave a comment, leave a question, leave a video idea, say hi, leave a comment. Every comment you make and every bit of interaction you have with my channel, every point is a name entry into a virtual hat. I found an app on the internet that allows me to do like random name things, and I'm doing it like that. Every bit of interaction you have with me on social media gets you points, so get working on your points. So yeah, if you have any questions about what I've said in this video, leave them down below. If you know me personally and want to apologise for the bullying, as some people have, fuck you. If you're Stephanie, get a hobby. Also, if you didn't know, I do have a Patreon, and it would mean the world to me if you could support me on there. Because, you know, I'm moving back to London, and shit's expensive, and I have to pay for my medication. So, pity me, I have to pay for my medication. I do quickly want to address this Kay thing. Me and Kay are no longer friends. I don't really know why. I posted a tweet saying when you give someone money but they ignore you. And she fucking deleted my pledge on Patreon. I don't know. You'll have to ask her what the problem is, because I don't know. But either way, she's welcome to leave. Like, bye. That's another thing, like, people with BPD are normally like, oh, I have so many issues of abandonment. And I'm just like, I don't like people walking out of my life, but if they're going to treat me like shit, the door's that way. I'm way too excitable. Would you believe that I had clonazepam at the start of this video? And now I'm just like this. I had clonazepam, cried, and now I'm